to the lutz jump. Here is the correct takeoff, with the toe pick entering the ice directly behind the skating foot, which is on a strong outside edge. Here we see the skater on a strong takeoff edge, with her weight on top of the skating leg, and the free leg directly behind the skating leg. When the toe pick enters the ice, the feet are quite close together. And as she reaches the top of the jump, she has nicely crossed feet in the air. This skater is in a good takeoff position and on a strong outside edge. When the arms are released, they pass by the side of the body, helping her to maintain the outside edge on takeoff. Here you see a severe change of edge from outside to inside. Generally, when this happens, the toe pick enters the ice too far to the inside of the skating foot. This mistake is common and difficult to fix. There is a mandatory deduction for this type of takeoff. The toe pick enters the ice too far to the inside of the skating foot. She is on the outside edge but is too far forward. Before she is able to place the toe pick into the ice, she shifts her weight over to the free side, resulting in a change of edge. By the time the toe pick enters the ice, most of the weight has been shifted onto the free side. There is a mandatory deduction for this type of takeoff. Welcome to the flip jump. Here is a look at an over-rotated takeoff ice mark. Note that the takeoff edge is curved too far around and that the toe pick mark is too far to the inside of the edge. This is a common error and creates too much rotation on takeoff, causing the jump to be out of control. The entry edge curves too much, causing the free leg to swing too far around after the three turn. Note where the toe pick is placed, too much to the inside of the skating foot. You see the skater with most of the body weight to the inside of the takeoff leg. This is poor body alignment and causes too much weight to be shifted onto the toe pick on takeoff. Welcome to the toe loop. This is a good pattern of a relatively straight entry, with the toe pick in line with the entry edge and direction of travel. There is a clear transfer of weight from the skating leg to the landing leg. The last example is of a severe over-rotation of the takeoff edge, resulting in the skater entering the air sideways and not properly transferring the weight from the takeoff leg to the landing leg. Here you see the skater releasing the rotation well before takeoff. Weight is too far forward, and he is on the toe picks, which slows the entry of the jump. Also, the free leg is not stretched back and is too close to the skating leg. He then releases the rotation of the upper body too early, moving the weight back to the picking leg too soon. resulting in half of a rotation on the ice before liftoff, and all of the weight being transferred onto the picking leg. Here, after one rotation, the weight is still centered over the takeoff foot with the landing foot bent. Now, after 1.5 rotations, the weight is still over the picking foot and not on the landing foot. On the last half rotation, he quickly gets the landing leg down just in time. The skater is well balanced on top of the skating leg, with the free leg stretched back. In this example, after one rotation, the weight has been transferred from the takeoff foot to the landing foot. And after 1.5 rotations, the weight is well centered and ready to absorb the landing.
The most common error on a toe loop is usually the placement of the pick is crossed too far behind, the upper body is too rotated, and people spend too much time on the pick. And they're actually turning, rotating, placing their weight on the pick for too long and turning on the pick. And of course, it creates on the lower level toe axles, it creates very stoppy double toes and triple toes.
The toe loop should have a smooth running edge upon entry, with the toe of the free foot being placed into the ice in coordination with the jumping action of the skating leg. Once airborne, the skater should achieve a tidy and straight position in the air with a strong landing position. Welcome to the axel. The first is a clean takeoff, with virtually no turning of the blade on the ice. And as the foot leaves the ice, the rotation begins. The third is a heavily turned takeoff, creating too much rotation on the ice before liftoff. This type of takeoff puts the skater into the air sideways and slows the jump down, resulting in less quality. This type of takeoff puts the skater into the air sideways and slows the jump down, resulting in less quality. It is instinctive for them to try and get more rotation by pulling the takeoff edge, as seen here. In this example, the skater waits too long before releasing the free leg and arms into the air. The result is that the takeoff edge turns too much and does not allow for enough lift. The correction for this problem, as seen here, is the skater allows the free leg and arms to release earlier in a straighter line, therefore lifting her out of the skating leg into the air before the edge turns too far around. Another common error on the axel is not enough use of the arms and free leg to create lifting power. As seen here, the skater uses the arms and free leg to whip into rotation. There are two main problems with this. One, it is regarded as a lesser quality jump. And two, there is great potential for an over-rotated takeoff. Upon stepping onto the takeoff edge, the free leg stretches back as the arms go from forward to back. This helps to create potential power for the takeoff. The arms and free leg then move together in the direction of travel, lifting the skater off the end of the edge into the air. It is important to keep the movement of the arms and free leg close to the body to prevent a swinging movement. Here we see a skater taking off from the left foot, keeping the weight on the left side through most of the rotation, and having a difficult time getting the right foot down to absorb the landing. There are two major problems with this. One is that the position affects the quality of the jump, as the legs look sloppy and out of control. And two, The landing leg is bent, not ready to absorb the landing. Here we see, as soon as this skater has left the ice from the left leg, the right leg begins to stretch down, and the left leg now begins to cross in front and bend slightly. This is the transfer from the skating leg on takeoff, in this case the left, to the skating leg on the landing, in this case the right.
On axel, I think it's essential for skaters to understand that the thrust in the beginning is the most important part. And if they can't really jump off their skating side and really lift with freedom and without fear, it's going not to be a very good axel. I teach that the arms and the free leg are an assist. They don't make the jump, they assist, and that they must pass close by the body. I never swing arms wide. I never swing a free leg wide on any of the jumps, so that the free leg lifts up in front in coordination with the arms to create thrust. It's a help, but it's not the major thing. The major thing is the skating leg straightening and pushing off the toe pick up into the air. To me, the most common errors on the axle is pre-rotation, stepping down and not being able to control the rotation on the step down so you get thrust. The very worst axles are axles that occur when people just rotate on the start and their knees come together, the free leg comes in too soon, the arms come in too soon, and they're just rotating on the ice before they ever leave the ice. To get a really nice lift and free leg and free arm action up into the air is essential.
Welcome to the salchow. First is a very clean takeoff, with a short increase of curve coming at the end of the edge as the skater releases into the air. Third is an over-rotated takeoff, where the skater is leaning too far forward on the toe pick and is leaning too far inside the circle. Note that after the three-turn, she has a straight and stiff skating leg. And as the right side begins to move forward, the left side releases. She then lifts her arms and takes them down as she begins to jump. The position after the turn is crucial. The skating side must be checked, as you see here. And as the free side becomes square with the skating side, the jump is released up into the air. The arms stay level and move up and down with the action of the jumping leg.
Indeed, if she can keep the technical ability that she's got at the moment.
There is a mandatory deduction for this type of takeoff.
Keep the technical ability that she's got at the moment and raise that second mark. She'll be untouchable.
Not all at Eurosport, but 300 million people watching. Look at that.
Wow. That is a huge score.
Even for her, it's her career best.
Well, it's a new record. It's a record score. Insane. She's moved the bar even higher.
First triple flip.
She usually has such precise technique right there, arm over the head, and last minute thinking added the triple toe, just beautiful.
Here you see the skater releasing the rotation well before takeoff. Weight is too far forward, and he is on the toe picks, which slows the entry of the jump. Also, the free leg is not stretched back and is too close to the skating leg. He then releases the rotation of the upper body too early, moving the weight back to the picking leg too soon, resulting in half of a rotation on the ice before liftoff, and all of the weight being transferred onto the picking leg.
A common error on a toe loop is usually the placement of the pick is crossed too far behind, the upper body is too rotated, and people spend too much time on the pick. And they're actually turning, rotating, placing their weight on the pick for too long and turning on the pick. And of course, it creates on the lower level toe axles, it creates very stoppy double toes and triple toes.
She's just so good.
Damn.
I came appropriate for the services.
You know what? I was thinking I wasn't going to mention it because I don't want to be petty, but because I'm trying to be impartial. But it's really hard to not notice halfway through the conversation she's dressed for a funeral. Damn you.
My grandmother always told me to never speak ill of the dead. So we're just gonna leave this conversation alone and move on.
Okay.
I don't think they heard that. What'd you say?
My grandmother told me to never speak ill of the dead.